Thank the organizing committee, particularly Vijay and Harishji, for providing this opportunity. I think the overall brief that was given to me before on this topic of digital technologies for marketing of chicken and eggs was to actually give you insights or provide insights to the audience on what is the emerging digital landscape, the digital architecture in India, and how the poultry industry could leverage the emerging digital technologies. I think that is the overall context. So going forward, what I've done in this presentation is I've put it into two parts. The first part of it gives you a view in terms of how the overall digital architecture or digital infrastructure and the digital pace at which India is moving. And the second part of it is how the industry is actually embracing these digital tools or digital technologies as some of the examples in different aspects of marketing, and a view in terms of what should one look at when you start promoting or marketing poultry and eggs. Going forward, this is how the current digital wave looks like. India basically is expected to continue riding on the digital wave. We basically, when you look at the whole overall digital ecosystem, out of the 139 crore population, the penetration of internet is around 62 crores. That is around 45% is the penetration of internet users in the country. When you divide this into the urban and the rural, the penetration in the urban would be around 65%, and the rural would be around 35%. So I think that is the penetration of internet data usage in the country, right? As we look at the future, the overall population, when you look at growth of population from 139 to 144 crores, the total user base, which actually will use internet, is going to be 65%, right? And the smart users also will be around 65%. So that is the pace at which both the internet penetration and also the smartphone usage is going to do. So that's going to be a big disruption that is going to happen in the way consumers shop, right? When you look at the online D2C kind of a platform, it would be around 30 crore users, which is around 20% by 2025, right? So that is the way digital wave is moving in India, and it's going to disrupt most of the, not only in the food and ag space, but it will be disrupting the way business models and operating models that the companies have to look at serving those customers, right? Can you go into the next one? The second two big factors which are actually basically moving towards adoption of internet and online shopping are the two things. One, the data, the INR cost per data of per GB of data that is being used has collapsed to 7 rupees, which is actually lower by 3 to 4% compared to US. And the expectation is the 7 rupees per GB of data is going to come down further. That means, again, the pace at which the internet is going to adopt it and the data is going to get used is also going to penetrate faster, right? There are 3-4 levers. One is basically the increasing income, the smartphone penetration, the low data rates, and the high network coverage are the levers which will actually help, which will facilitate faster adoption and ride on the digital wave, right? The monthly spend, the second lever, because of the COVID onset, in the last 2 years, the amount of time consumers have spent on a digital platform is twice as much as they would have spent on TV, right? So that means the amount of time that a person is spending on a digital platform using video content is twice as much as they used to spend on a television, right? And again, that is where these two are the key factors which will actually give a disruption in the whole way consumers are going to shop. So this is the overall D2C market. The digital commerce, both from a B2B perspective and a B2C perspective, both are going to, I think the font is not very clear, but I just say the overall retail market, if it is $1 trillion, $1.7 trillion, the D2C, the overall digital commerce is around 11% of the total market, okay? That means 200 billion USD is the digital commerce which has evolved over a period of last 3-4 years. Out of the $200 billion, of the digital commerce that is happening in India, 50% is D2C. That is direct to consumer marketing, right? So that is the space. Again, this space of D2C is growing at 25% CAGR and is expected to continue growing at that pace. That means this 20%, 50% of that is $100 billion, that is the e-commerce trade that's happening on a B2C platform, is actually going to double in the next 4 years, right? And a lot of D2C players who would have imagined. So I think most of us know the unicorns in the making in different segments, like a Mama Earth in FMCG, like a Big Basket in food and beverages, like a Lenscard in fashion. So there would be unicorns in the making in each of these segments, and I think poultry also would be one of the areas. People, because of the size of the massive scale of the industry and the possibilities of innovation that are going to happen, I think there are a lot of unicorns which will come in this space as well. This is how the overall B2B digital e-commerce, it has a very great potential. It actually will see that increase in speed of growth, the reduced cost to serve, and because of the higher volumes that we can serve in the B2B segment. The drivers that are there for the B2B digital commerce would be the growth in terms of WhatsApp and mobile adaptability, the microfinance and the UPI revolution that is happening, the online B2B marketplaces that are evolving, the digital marketing tools, and the integration of logistics and warehousing, and the way automation, the way supply chain automation is happening and the adoption of digital is happening. The platform-led digital marketplaces are the future. Yeah? Going to the next one, which is the B2C digital commerce. That is the B2B digital commerce. This is a B2C digital commerce. This is basically direct to consumer. The growth drivers on this segment is basically the growth on the social media, the payment modernization and the financial methods, the innovation in logistics and warehousing, the increasing disposable income in consumers, and the innovation in the business models that the new age firms are coming up. So those are the growth drivers which are going to drive the B2C segment. As I said, this segment of D2C is going to grow at 25% CAGR in the next 4 or 5 years, right? The social commerce and the live commerce are expected to touch around $16 billion by the year 2025. So again, technology-led innovations, digital payments, warehousing, logistics, customer engagements, increasing consumer awareness are likely to support the growth of the segment of B2C digital commerce. Right? So there are also more than 50 digital commerce players operating in the meat and the egg value chain, operating across the country. We will see some of the success stories which will emerge in the next 4 or 5 years. Right? What are the imperatives for the poultry industry? So that is the background of how the digital wave is going to change the way India is going to operate in the e-commerce space. So what are the imperatives for the poultry industry? Just to give a background, I think most of the speakers in the earlier sessions have spoken about the robustness of how we produce, how we are competitive in terms of the production situation. Coming to the consumption side of it, we see not only the proportion of population consuming chicken and eggs is increasing, but the frequency at which they are using is also increasing, right? The proportion of people consuming eggs daily and weekly is increasing at 1.6 to 4 and 4.1% respectively, and the proportion of people consuming meat on a daily basis, again increasing by 3.6 to 1.5%. So every week, every day, the consumption is on an increasing trend, right? The per capita consumption, which is 66 eggs per capita, is actually moved to 84 eggs per capita in 2022. And again, this is the wave that we're going to drive, and digital will have a significant influence on how consumers start buying on the platforms, right? With that background in terms of how the consumption rates are increasing, the way consumers are perceiving, this is basically on the research that we would have done a couple of years back, in terms of how consumers are perceiving chicken and eggs and the buying decisions that they're taking. They are looking at basically moving. So past it was more loose eggs, broken eggs, buy from shops, right? Only hen, old eggs. So there was no classification or differentiation in the way the eggs were perceived or a chicken was perceived, right? Now I think there is, in the last 3-4 years, the differentiation is coming in terms of better packaging, chemical-free situations, then online delivery platforms, right? Best before date mentioned on the product that we are using, And also the customer experience, they want a new customer experience that is coming in, right? So there is lot of change that the way consumers are looking at, which again will drive digital e-commerce, digital both B2B and B2C, which will change the way consumers are consumers will perceive buying this product, right? When I saw the previous presentations again, chicken is always a high protein, or the protein situation is there. We look at the lowest cost, cheap cost, but there would be the 30 crore consumers in that particular e-commerce trade which always look at innovation, look at differentiation, and look at basically trying new products. So that is the online people. 65% of the population is actually there at below the age of 35. So that is a population which is going to try for new innovations. Yeah. So these are the, when you look at the whole landscape in terms of how the overall digital ecosystem or digital communications have happened, the key factors that are happening is on the health awareness. Health awareness has become one of the key triggers because the product is more of a commodity as was perceived. I think health awareness has been used as one of the tools in terms of communication and promotion or creating a differentiation in the marketplace. Second is on the product variety. There are a lot of variants that are coming in terms of understanding the consumer markets or the segments and giving whatever product segmentation the consumers require. So that product market segmentation is clearly getting articulated as we go forward. And online will actually make the pace more faster. Yeah. Phygital model, while we talk about digital as a major disruption, in any of the food and agri situations, we believe that phygital will continue to be a differentiator. It is not only the digital ecosystem that you need to have, it will be a combination of physical and digital coming together to make a clear differentiator. And that is where I think, whether it's an online play or a digital player moving into a physical model or a physical player moving into a digital model, I think that combination of both digital and physical will be the way forward. Till the point we move in and the pace comes into pure digital. So it's going to take time for us to have pure digital, but as we see in the next 5 years, phygital model will be the way people will innovate delivering to the customers. Traceability, again, most of the players will start looking at traceability as a differentiator, educating the customer, because the customer who is a new age customer is tending towards understanding the quality of the product, the health consciousness which is coming in. So we will see a lot of traceability as a strategy in terms of marketing communications over the digital platforms. Celebrity endorsements and loyalty programs, again, it will be a combination of both digital marketing and also using meme marketing which will be used for celebrity endorsements, and also loyalty programs. As we move into digital, it will actually move into more loyalty situations, right? The key factor as we move into digital platforms will be how do you attract consumers, how do you engage customers, how do you retain them, and how do you service them. So I think that is the journey that will happen when you move into a combination of physical and digital. Right. So this is just to summarize in terms of what is the journey which was there from customer standpoint previously and what is the new age customer journey. We have 4 steps: awareness, interest, desire, and action, which was a traditional journey. But when you look at the modern journey of customers buying or looking at buying poultry or eggs, I think we have awareness as one of the key levers, but the second one is more search and research. Because of the digital platforms which are coming in, the search and research before they take a decision on what to buy, how to buy, when to buy, is going to make a key differentiator, and that is where the digital platforms will make a lot of sense, right? Once you do the search and research, the conversion is also very difficult because the consumer is more aware of what he's purchasing. So creating a communication which is more specific, more target-oriented, and then defining what positioning you want to do as a company will also become critical. So conversion also will become more or less critical. So the cost to serve will come only when the volumes will come, but the conversion cost will be of a customer will be high. Right? And lastly, the most important part is the engagement, because the customer is continuously innovating. So how do you create engagement programs which will make him come regularly and buy the product? So the steps at which the traditional journey of how consumers, aspirational consumers were looking at is actually changing in this pattern, right? So there are a lot of digital tools which could be used for doing these programs, like awareness. It could be hyperlocal marketing, which is relevant for poultry. Every cluster of consumers, the hyperlocal patterns change, the customer segments change. So hyperlocal marketing will become critical. using digital and physical. Social media campaigns, looking at those micro markets, creating those micro market strategies and communicating will also become significant. And use of social media to communicate also will improve. Physical presence, again, in those micro markets where you want to service customers using digital and physical platforms and creating touch points to capture all the data, customer data, and doing analytics and going back and creating promotion and positioning will become critical. So those are the campaigns that you can use as digital tools for creating awareness. The second, in terms of search and research, the robustness under which the customer data is captured, because today poultry is more from a commodity perspective, moving towards further processing and looking at targeting campaigns. The AI and ML looking at targeting, or use of AI ML technologies to actually look at target segments, target consumers, and the positioning that you want to do will become relevant. So you can use AI and ML to do that. Customer behavior analytics using big data platforms, again, will be a critical parameter to look at how do you search, how do you create enablement to the customers to give data access for them to take decisions properly. Sentiment analysis also will become critical. So these are all big data tools that one could use and create search and research enablement to the customers. Conversion, assurance on quality through IoT, digital enablement payments, customized offerings, and blockchain-enabled traceability. As we speak, most of the MNCs like Nestle or Walmart are looking at creating blockchain-led traceability to actually give comfort to their end customers in terms of providing quality and assurance on the quality that they're giving, right? And loyalty programs, feedback systems, referral programs. I think the overall approach should be to look at an integrated play using all the tools and getting insights on customer and preempt what the customer is thinking so that our targeted campaigns can come and the conversion can happen and the engagement can happen, right? Lastly, I think most of the new age guys like Licious or Fresh to Home, Tender Cuts, Egos, they are trying to do this, but as I said, the overall, I think these are all aggregation models, but the way going forward, I think it will be a combination of both the physical traditional players combined with digital, which will lead to the success of the story that India is riding on. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take any questions. Yeah, thank you.